Hey guys, we're still very much here in summer sort of vacation and summer trading mode when it comes to the market. Want to feel compelled to give a bit of an update here to the broader audience as well, because we are heading into an important week for stocks. It's largely been kind of a very snoozy market when it comes to U.S. equities and other risk assets for the better part of the past. Let's call it a couple of weeks, really July to date, even though, say, the S&P 500 is a little bit higher for the month. We've largely seen a trading range, and I think we're finally heading into, I'm going to call it a near-term inflection point when it comes to the market, and it largely has to do with the kind of companies that are about to report earnings, namely the mega cap tech names like Google's and Facebook's and Amazon's of the world, which just from a simple mathematical perspective really have the strength, will have the strength to move the market meaningfully in one direction or another. To give you a little bit of perspective on this, let me just quickly show you. This is a very simple chart. I know there's a lot of glare here as well today, but just a simple chart of the S&P. You can see where this is the SPY ETF. Yes, we're a little bit higher for the month, but you can see that we're largely kind of stuck in a trading range. And if we kind of juxtapose this to the VIX, I'm going to quickly type in the VIX. You can see the VIX here still, pretty much below 15. Heading into an important week like this, this feels a little bit complacent. So I didn't really want to make a huge deal about this, but I wanted to just give people a little bit of heads up, because I've noticed a lot of people are out. Obviously, as am I, and at least working remotely, and so I wanted to make sure people don't get this, don't lose sight of this. Now, what's important here is heading into this week, the NASDAQ 100, this is the QQQ ETF. You can see that sort of outside day we had last Friday, what was that, July the 18th or something. And, it's just one day, but it's important to note that we've kind of stalled, broadly speaking, in stocks, and heading into an important earnings week like this, I just would caution people to maybe take, kind of sit up and take notice, and don't get too complacent about this market. Just when things feel good, and we've been very clear to this with the clients about this, that we've been quite constructive on the market, at least not wanting to be short for the past few weeks because of the way the market was acting. But now we're heading to this earnings week, and again, certainly stocks can resolve to the upside, but we don't know, because these are big names. From a mathematical perspective, it's just math. These companies are so heavily weighted in the broader indices that this has the potential to move the indices. Now, we just sent out a trade idea to our clients around one of these names that had just reported last week. So there is opportunity out there, definitely, both on the bullish and the bearish side. But I think for lack of making this too complicated, I would just caution people to, if you are overly long position here and complacent, maybe taking some chips off the table, or at least reducing long positions makes sense. Again, doesn't mean stocks can't go higher. It's just to say that we don't know how people react to these earnings of these huge tech companies. I'm very constructive on a lot of these companies like Google and so on for the long term, but we don't know how people react to the earnings in the near term. And again, just from a mathematical perspective, considering that the S&P 500 technology sector is 20% of the S&P, you take into account the communications sector, which is another 10%, and you've got a 30% weighing of the kind of names that are about to report this coming week, and that's a big deal. So again, keep this chart in mind here for the NASDAQ 100. It's definitely something to take a little bit of notice of, at least. Last Friday's sort of outside bearish reversal, and with that, have a great start to the week.